Well, for more on this, we can now cross to France 24's Fraser Jackson in Washington. Hi, Fraser. Trump then really upping the ante here. Iran has already rejected any possibility of a ceasefire deal. Can you tell us more about where we are on this then?
Yeah, Donald Trump really increasing the pressure now on Iran with that deadline of 8 p.m. Eastern, now less than 12 hours away. Donald Trump posting early in the morning on Tuesday on his platform Truth Social, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight, one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Donald Trump then, even in that message you can see there, slightly flip-flopping on his message, which he's been doing a lot in the last couple of days, saying that, this is almost inevitable, but that maybe something will happen. That has been what he has been like in the last couple of days, especially as this self-imposed deadline of 8 p.m. Eastern arrives. Donald Trump, of course, this comes on the heels after he said he doesn't know whether he's going to be winding down this war in Iran or preparing to bomb them into the Stone Age, as he said multiple times over the course of the last couple of days. He said that the US will be preparing to bomb bridges and power plants along with other civilian infrastructure, and he brushed away suggestions that that could be a war crime when he was asked about it at his press conference at the White House on Monday. But Donald Trump here now kind of between a rock and a hard place, because we are waiting to see how Iran responds to this latest posturing by Donald Trump, because he might have painted himself into a corner here with a lot of very heightened and significant rhetoric. And if, of course, Iran doesn't respond in the way that he deems fit by that self-imposed deadline of 8 p.m. Eastern, then Donald Trump will likely have to go ahead with this bombing campaign that he has promised, which he says will last about 4 hours. Otherwise, he will be accused of tackering once again, which stands for Trump always chickens out. So Donald Trump here, again, between a rock and a hard place, really, when it comes to Iran on Tuesday.
And Iran has so far rejected any possibility of a ceasefire deal.
Yeah, Donald Trump says he's ready for a ceasefire deal, which of course would have to involve the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, but Iran has rejected that, as well as putting forward a 10-point plan that they want to see happening. Now, among those 10 points would include a permanent end to the war rather than a short-term ceasefire. They say that any agreement could not take place while there's still threats coming from the American side. Iran says that they would include ending other conflicts in the region in that deal, if a deal is to be reached to end this war. And they want to put in place a system to ensure safe movement through the Strait of Hormuz, as well as a formal recognition of Iran's right to enrich uranium under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which, of course, Donald Trump says he is not going to agree to. He does not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. The Iranians also want removal of sanctions imposed by the United States and other countries, as well as an end to Israeli attacks on one of the proxy groups that Iran supports, Hezbollah in Lebanon. And in exchange for all of this, Iran would effectively remove its blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, which of course has caused oil prices in the world to skyrocket in the last couple of weeks. But they will be charging about $2 million per vessel to go through that narrow stretch of water, an amount that would be shared with Oman. And those funds would go towards rebuilding infrastructure damaged in US and Israeli strikes. They say that's instead of seeking direct compensation from what it sees as the aggressors. So Trump said that that plan wasn't enough to avoid the actions of tonight. So now, like I said, we wait and see Iran's reaction to this latest posturing from Donald Trump, and whether they will accept the terms of the deal on his terms, or whether they will continue their attacks on other regional US allies and the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz as well.